Okay, so this is going to be a bigger video that covers pretty much everything that we're going to be doing in lessons 1.3.5 and 1.3.6, which are kind of smushing together. The big things here are going to be how to do a couple things. We're going to have to import a part from another CAD program because they've already modeled one of these for us, and we're not going to redo all that work. I'm going to show you how to do some basic editing to your title block, which is this thing down in the corner here. We'll talk about how to do this detailed view. You'll do another one of these. I'm not going to give you too much information on that, but I'm going to want you to try to add dimensions to that one. And then we'll talk about how to do these section views right here. None of that's too difficult, but just to have a video in one place is going to be nice. So we're going to go ahead and create our drawing file. At this point, the only one you've probably used is this ANSI A page inch, and they want us to use the B size. So if we go to show on shape drawing templates, either under all or under ANSI, you're going to see the other sizes that are available to you as well. So you have A, you have B, you have C, and D. B is a 11 by 17 inch piece of paper. So that one's actually one that we can print on a normal printer. And it's just a little bit bigger. A is about an 8.5 by 11, like a normal piece of paper. So we're going to go with ANSI B inch with no views to start with. And we're going to go ahead and hit OK. Now, this first part that we're going to do is going to be this, while that's loading up here, this crank arm for the trammel toy. This is a Lego, I believe it's a Lego Technic piece or a Vex piece or something like that. But it's a part that just exists already and the models are already out there for you to use. So in order to import that, before we can put it into our drawing, we're going to hit this little plus symbol down here. Hopefully you've already downloaded it from the Canvas page. Hit import, and then you're going to have to find out wherever that downloaded to. It's going to look a little bit different on your Chromebook, but hopefully you can find that. So mine automatically saves in my downloads folder. Yours on your Chromebook, if you just download it, look in that recent tab and it should be in there. What you're looking for is this file here. It's a step file and it's called IED Distance Learning DL 135 Trammel Toy Crank Arm Step File. So lots of long name there, but that's what you're looking for. Open that up. And because this is only a single part, it actually doesn't matter. We're just going to go ahead and import this document the way it is and leave everything else alone. So we hit OK, it uploads, it thinks, and it's going to take some time to convert. And not a long time, but it is going to take some time to convert. So you'll see this little CAD imports thing show up. And if you were to click on it, it's just the actual step file. You can't do anything with it there. But if you give it some time, eventually it'll pop up. And you'll see that one of your tabs down there is named the same thing, IED Distance Learning 135 Trammel Toy Crank Arm. And you'll be able to see it. Now you can't edit this part necessarily. I mean, you can do some basic stuff to it, I'm sure, but with a step file, it does limit your ability to like make edits. You can see it's just an import. There's no history of extrusions or anything like that. But all we're going to do is just use this the way it is in our drawing. So we've got our drawing. We're going to hit import, insert, and I already imported this obviously, but we're going to open that up and you'll find it right there. It's probably still called untitled inside of there. That's okay. So click on it. We want our view scale 1:1. Let's see if this is going to work. This did this to me the last time, I think. One thing I think that I might need to do differently, import your file first. I think that's what causes the problem here. So I'm going to go ahead and start a new drawing here, ANSI B inch, and we'll see if that lets us import it now. So that might be a good idea. Import the file before you create your drawing, because I think that's what caused my issue before. So now I think I can select it. There we go. One thing to know, the front view is not the one you want. You can always change it later, but it turns out we want the top view. Once the preview loads, you'll see that's the view we were looking at. So we want a top view, which is actually going to be our front. And I want you to include this side view. And then we're still on the project tool, and we're going to project and make the isometric tool. So the thing about something like this is there's a lot of these little holes, and they're all really small. This is a very long part. And so in order to be able to dimension everything properly, we'd like to get a zoomed in view. And so that's what this detailed button is for, detail view. If I click on that, all it's going to do is it's going to give me a place where I can draw a circle. Now the directions on this one are to get 3 of these holes. So I'm actually going to start my circle at the center of this hole, and then I'm going to make it just big enough to grab 3 of them. And then you'll see that it gives you this little detailed view. And this one is 2 to 1. You could make it bigger. You could make it 3 to 1, and just stick that into your drawing. Now that's going to give you a place to move these out of the way just a bit here. That's going to give you a place to add dimensions to this part where you're going to be able to see it a lot better. Down here, it's just so small that any dimensions are going to get in the way. But up here, a lot nicer that you can see what's going on. We're not going to go ahead and really add any dimensions to that one. The next thing they want you to do is to add a new sheet to this one. So don't make a new drawing file, just add a new sheet right there. It's this button on the side. Add new sheet. And this one, we're going to use that pin slider that we created. So we've done that already. If you didn't do that, I'm not sure to tell you. You're just going to have to find it somewhere and do it or make it still. So we're going to insert. Now, chances are this one is not in this document. I made this one specifically for this activity, but you can access all of your other documents. If you get other documents, my Onshape, and then either second or third hour, I'm just going to go a second hour because I know it's in there, under this 1.3.1, or sorry, 1.3 CAD fundamentals. I have the base plate, the drill block, and the pin slider that we made. So there's the pin slider right there, and I can select that. So now I can put in my front view, my side view, and then I can use the project button to project a top view. And I can project again to get an isometric view. And you'll see here, all of your views show up. They're all based off of that front view. That's why they're kind of indented over, which is exactly what you want. So they're going to have you go ahead and put the dimensions in. A couple of things that you're going to want to be able to do here is to use the hole tool. So you've got this hole call out. We made this hole using the hole tool. So if I click on it and go out like this, it's going to show what that hole is, right? I'd also want to just use normal dimensions to dimension to where that hole is, how far over it is, how far up from one of the edges it is, that kind of stuff. Over here, you've got things like center marks, which you need a center mark because that's a circle. And in views like this one, where you can't see that hidden line, if you were to double click on it, then you can, I believe, show hidden lines. Gotta remember how to do that. Ah, that's it. It's way up there. So it's up on the top there. For some reason, they've got a problem with how this is working. But we figured out if you drag it all the way down and then right clicked, you can see there show hidden lines. And now you can see the hidden lines that go right through there. Probably want to do the same thing for this one, show hidden lines. Then you can put them back where they should go. So again, you'd want to add some dimensions here. You know, it'd be a good idea to know how tall this thing is overall. It'd probably be a good idea to know how wide it is overall. I'd probably want to know what this radius of this curve is. I might want to know just how tall that little bottom step piece is. And in one of these views, you'd see the little chamfer that we added at the end right here. We'd want to know what those are. So we'd dimension from there to there. And we'd dimension from there to there going this way. These would be a good one to add in that TYP at the end. You can put it right at the end here, TYP, and it'll show up for you. And that TYP, just as a reminder, means that it's the typical dimension. Everywhere you see that feature, it's the same dimension. So just to practice some dimensioning there, always a good idea. And the final one we're going to put in is our screwdriver case that we made last time. So we'll add one more sheet, and we'll insert this one. And again, you're going to have to go and find it. It's going to be in your other documents, my Onshape. I'm just going to go, whoops, not third hour, second hour. I know I made them in second hour. And you can see, actually, no, I didn't make it in second hour yet. I put it in my IED files. There it is. So hopefully you're using some folders to keep organized a little bit, but there's my screwdriver case. One thing to know, if you click on a folder like this, and it shows up with an error that says there's no parts in it because none of them have dimensions or none of them have versions, there should be a little button to click, and all you have to do is say, hey, this is version 1, and hit OK, and then it'll assign a version number to it, and you can then use it in your drawings. So we're going to use that screwdriver case right there. And we'll put in our views. There's my front view. And there's my isometric view. That's going to be the only ones I want to put in. From there, I'm going to go ahead and add a section view. This thing has some we hollowed it out inside. So there's going to be some details inside the part that we want to see. So right here, we've got a section view option. Now, the section view gives you a couple things right away, vertical and horizontal. The first one we're going to do a horizontal one, and we're going to go right through the top like this. So we'll just draw it right like that. Oops, maybe it'll place it. I think we have to, yeah, there you go. Connect those dots. Now, you can see it's got two different options there. It automatically changes when you change these things, but you can manually say, okay, I want to do that and put this in. And what this does is imagine that you were to take that and just cut it right there. This is what that piece would look like when you cut it. The other thing we're going to want to do is cut it down the middle, and we'll put that view over here. So we'll do another section view. This one will be vertical, and we'll stick it right down the middle. And again, we'll just put it right over here. And so now we've got a section view that shows that cutaway. And, you know, it's just to get an idea of what this thing looks like on the inside, of course. We'd still need to put dimensions on it and everything like that if we were going to actually get this thing made, but that's just to help us out. So at this point, I'm not going to have you really add any dimensions to this one. Everybody made that one slightly different anyway, but what you're going to need to do now is just export this. Export. You could give it a name if you wanted to, something now. Make sure you do PDF and select download, and that'll let you download all of these sheets. There you go. So that PDF is what you're going to be turning in on Canvas, and that should be just about it.